Hello everyone, I'm Dihua and welcome back to Wiser Biker. The last episode, we went to the local supermarket and bought a children's bike. And today, I'm going to show you more about what to look out for when you're buying a children's bike. So, without further ado, let me just remove all this. Okay, so we have got this brand new children's bike that we bought from the supermarket. Now there are a couple of things that I want to highlight to you so that you can keep that in mind when you're shopping for your next children's bike. Okay, first of all, I think the most important thing that you should look out for when you're buying the bike is actually the brakes, because you want your child to be able to stop when they need to. Okay, so there are many types of brakes, and this bike actually uses V-brake. Now, as the name suggests, a V-brake actually shaped like a V. Okay, if you can see, it's shaped like a V, and when you press it, it actually bites onto the rim itself to make it stop. Right. The good thing about this V-brake is that it is very responsive. Now what I mean by responsive is that you can actually press it a little bit. You can just apply a very small force and it will translate into a high braking power. Okay, so it is important for a child who is actually just starting to learn how to ride, because their hand muscles are less developed compared to adults. So they may have a weaker gripping power, so you want them to have a very easy time trying to pull the brake to brake. Okay, so both of these brakes, front and back, they are actually very light and easy to pull. So that is a good thing about this V-brake. Other than that, it's actually very cheap to maintain. For a V-brake, all you need to do when you maintain it after a long time is that you only need to remove and change the brake pads or the brake cables when they are worn out. And you can get these parts replaced for less than $10 in most of the bike shops. Okay, the second thing that I want you to pay attention to or look out for is actually the wheel size. Now for children's bike, they actually start with wheel size 12-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch, all the way to about 20-inch for most children's bicycles. Now for this bike in particular, is an 18-inch, 18 times 2.125 tires. So the wheel size is actually 18-inch. And if you're not sure how to check it, you can actually look and refer to the tire itself, because on the tire they will have a marking that indicates the number. So for this one is 18 times 2.125, which is a good size for a child bike for children who are actually 5 to 10 years old. Now why I say that this wheel size is actually good size to begin with is because the bigger the wheel size, the easier for the child to balance on the bike. Okay, if your child is 6 or 7 years old and they're still riding on a 12-inch bicycle, now chances are they may find it a little bit difficult to balance it because it will start to wobble a little bit. Okay, but with a bigger wheel size, they are actually easier for them to gain the balance. Now the third thing that I want you to look out for is the gears. Now there are a lot of available options in the market right now. Some of them comes with multi-speed gears, like two speed in front or 7 or 8 speed at the rear. But for children's bike, usually you will see either single speed or maybe 5 or 6 speed at the rear. Now those gears are good if you ever need to climb a hill. But for normal riding, especially for a child who is just starting to learn how to ride, I believe most of the time they're going to ride on flat roads. And that is why I think that a single gear is actually sufficient. And the fewer things they have one less thing to actually worry about. So all they need to do is just to focus on riding, focus on pedaling, focus on getting their balance, and not really need to worry about changing the gears and all that. The last point that I want to bring your attention to is this adjustable saddle seat. Now your child will grow, and usually they grow very fast at the age of 5 to 10. So it is actually very handy to have a quick release saddle so that you can adjust the height accordingly and easily when need to. Also practically, if you have more than one child at home, then it's actually easier for them to actually share the bike, and they can adjust the saddle height according to their own height easily. So after these important 4 points to look out for, I think you're almost good to go and know how to actually choose. Now wait, there's this one key question that I get a lot from customers and friends when they're buying children bike. Now the big question is whether to have training wheels or no training wheels. I believe most of you would think that naturally with the training wheels it is actually safer for the child because they would not fall down from a bike, and it's actually a progressive learning experience for them to first actually get comfortable sitting on a bike and pedaling and not have to worry about falling. Now for me personally, I prefer no training wheels. I'm going to tell you why is this. So because the key about learning, the key difference about knowing how to ride a bicycle and not knowing how to ride a bicycle is whether you can balance on the bike. Correct? So if you take away the element of falling, the effect of falling, your body will not know how to adjust to counterbalance the fall, and therefore you will never learn how to balance on a bike. Right? So now if we take away, we buy a bike that has no training wheels on, your child will start to feel the imbalance. Okay, you feel the fall, and very naturally his body will try to react to it and counter it, and that's where he will learn naturally the only way to balance is to pedal and ride forward. Now I understand that the concern that your child may fall down from the bike and get injured is real, but all you need to do is very simple. Get them the correct safety gears, mainly the helmet, elbow guard and knee guards, and also make sure that they practice in open space where there's no obstruction, no obstacles and no moving vehicles. And the last thing is to pay close attention to them while they are riding and give them the guidance when needed. Now in this case, you're already creating the safest environment for them to actually learn. And personally, I think that without training wheels, you as a parent will actually pay more closer attention to them, or even you spend more time and effort to actually guide them how to ride. You will try to make sure that they don't fall. You hold their saddle and push them for a little while, and all this is very valuable and important bonding time, and I think that is what makes this learning how to ride all the more precious with your between parents and a child. Okay, so that actually helps your child to learn how to ride very fast. So I hope with all these points I've made you a wiser biker and that you know how to choose a good children bike. And if you like our content, you like our video, please like, subscribe, and if you have any other questions on how to select these bikes or any bike related questions, you can actually drop a comment below in our comment box. So thank you, and I'll see you again